So we've got to make sure that we include in our schools not only ethnic studies for the things I'm talking about now, but also women's studies, LGBT studies, and of course labor studies. Labor studies. In the video that you just saw, I talked about the labor movement. And you know, it's really interesting. We should ask people sometimes when they don't really respect the labor movement, ask them how much they know about the 8-hour day. How much do they know about May Day, the riot in Chicago that they had, where people were trying to get the 8-hour day at the turn of the last century, the 20th century. Does anybody know the names of the martyrs, the people that fought for the 8-hour day? The people that fought for the 8-hour day, those labor leaders were executed. They were hung. So many of us do not know that. And we've got, in the farm workers movement, we had 5 martyrs, 5 people that were killed, just to get toilets in the fields, unemployment insurance, and the right to organize. So somehow we've got to start including this in our schools also. And let's hope that the next governor, Gavin Newsom, when he comes around asking for your vote, say to him, hey, let's include labor studies. Okay, let's make that a law in the state of California so that every single person will know how organized labor fought for the benefits that all of us take for granted. Because if we ask anybody, we say to them, how do you think we got safety standards, Social Security, workers' compensation, disability insurance, public education? It was organized labor that made this happen, workers that were organized. And so we have to make sure that we inculcate so everybody knows this. And so also, I just want to mention another area that I think is really important, and that is our Board of Supervisors. Because we know that the boards of supervisors often are the ones that are going to decide whether our working people, especially our public workers, like many of you, are going to get the kind of contracts and the kind of benefits that they deserve. So as we go out there and we start campaigning now in November, let's think about these other positions. I just want to share a little bit about my foundation, the Dolores Huerta Foundation. And by the way, I want to thank all of you for being supportive of my foundation over the years, especially Sal. He has been there for us from the very, very beginning. But, you know, we filed a lawsuit against our Board of Supervisors in Kern County. When I say Kern County, I'm going to say Bakersfield, California, okay? And all of our supervisors were very much against anti-labor except for one. Not only anti-labor, but they're also anti the sanctuary state that our representatives in Sacramento passed. Well, you know what we did? We filed a lawsuit against our Board of Supervisors for more representation for people of color on the board. And we won. So now we're going to be able to have at least 2, hopefully Democrats, and hopefully 2 people that represent the majority of the people in Kern County. We're people of color. And the other group that we're going to, by the way, and we're going now to the next county, Tulare County, and we're preparing a lawsuit against them also. Because we think that redistricting is very, very important if we're going to get the kind of representation that we need and the kind of support that we need for working people. We're also preparing a lawsuit against our current high school district because one of the big issues that we're working on is stopping the school-to-prison pipeline. So often we have been told that our Latino children, African-American children, that they were dropping out of school. Guess what we found out? They're not dropping out, they're being pushed out. They're being pushed out. And again, the only way that we can ultimately change this is to make sure that some of us get elected to those school boards. So I want you to think about that and think about your own areas where you live and look at those positions on these boards. And yes, we've got to get more labor people in all of these positions so that we can, you know, get the kind of education that we need, get the kind of support that we need, get the kind of a democracy that we need. But it's not going to happen unless all of us do it together, okay? It's not going to happen unless all of us do it together. And just one more thing, you know, as we see what's happening now with the big you might say, this big drama about Judge Kavanaugh, you know, who they want to put on the Supreme Court, who we know is very anti-worker, anti-gay, anti-women's reproductive rights. You know, this is a person that we cannot afford to have on the Supreme Court. Hopefully now we have a little chance of possibly stopping him. So I know many of you have relatives in other states, maybe Texas, Arizona, some of these other states where we know that those senators might be thinking of voting for Judge Kavanaugh. Could you pick up the phone, call your relatives and friends that you know, and ask them, please call your senator to stop this Supreme Court confirmation of Judge Kavanaugh. You know, I was very fortunate to get tickets to see Michael Moore's movie, his Broadway show. And he said there's something that we have to do every single day. When we get up in the morning, we have to wash our face, brush our teeth, and call our congressman. So let's remember that we have to keep doing this. And hopefully we can all do this together. We can stop Judge Kavanaugh from being confirmed. It's in our hands. We're very close to stopping them, but it's not going to happen unless all of us work together. So I just want to say to you, all of you, thank you very much for all of the work that you've been doing. I wish NUHW all the luck in the world. You're a great organization. And thank you very much for supporting my foundation and all the other community groups and all of the great candidates that you have supported over the years. This organization, NUHW, you really are an organization that promotes democracy. And we know that we have to continue to work because the last thing that we want is we don't want fascism to take over our United States of America. So I'm going to ask you a very simple question, and I know you know the answer, okay? So you'll have to stop eating just for a second. And the question that I'm going to ask you, who's got the power? And I want you to all yell together, we've got the power. And I'm going to say, what kind of power? I want you to say union power. All right, can we do that? And please shout it out so loud that the racists, the misogynists, the homophobes, the bigots, the alt-right, the neo-Nazis, okay? Let's shout it out so loud that they can hear us. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Who's got the power? We got the power. What kind of power? Union power. Are we going to go out there and organize, mobilize, and make sure that we win in the November elections? What do we say? ¿Se puede o no se puede? Okay, let's all do it together with an organized hand clap. Let's go. Sí, se puede. Just one more. I'm going to say, Viva NUHW, and everybody shout, Viva very loud. Okay, let's go. Viva NUHW! Viva! Viva Sal Roselli! Viva! Muchas gracias. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And she's great. We found it. Good evening, everyone. My name is Taruso Gadabu Wilson, and I'm a registered dietitian and health educator from Kaiser, Southern California. Thank you. And joining me here are Eloise Reese Burns, a certified nursing assistant from Cottonwood Rehabilitation Center, and Julia Sidro Thompson, a monitor tech at Providence Tarzana. Thank you. As members of the NUHW Executive Board and as authorized by the entire Executive Board, we would like to present Ms. Dolores Huerta with the most singular honor.
Our board voted to make Dolores Huerta the first honorary member of the NUHW. No. No one deserves this better. And we want to present you with this jacket, and we want you to wear it and wear it proudly. Thank you.